It's not. It's the 15th of June, and this is your Monday Microdose. In the beginning, there were touring bikes, and touring bikes used racks, and it was good. And touring bikes begat bike-packing bikes, and bike-packing bikes had no need for racks, mostly. And it was also good. I'm being silly, but I love the hacking that goes on between the bike-packing world and the kind of touring, commuting world. And as many of you know, I sell a brand of bags from my friends in Salida, Colorado called Oveja Negra. That's the black sheep, y'all. Oveja Negra bike packing. And while a lot of companies make bike packing bags, and many of them are good, I don't know if anybody else, and I'm sure that somebody's going to say so-and-so does and so-and-so does, but I found one that I like, and I kind of quit looking, to be real honest with you. They make a bag, or at least a colorway in a bag, called Wack Pack. And Wack Pack is basically just, and I don't know if I'm using the word correctly, but offcuts of fabric. So they do a run of bags in multicam, and then what's left over goes into a pile along with all the other colors, and then when they get a big pile, they make a bag out of all the different colors. And I love it. I love it. And so I stock up on Wack Pack whenever I can. And when you order a bag in Wack Pack, you are entering into a compact. I do it, and for the most part, you do it. And that compact is, just like Forrest Gump said about life, you never know what you're going to get. So you order a bag in Wack Pack, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. The best word that I can come up with is whimsy. It adds a level of whimsy to your bicycle. And if you've ever seen any of Lane's videos on her channel, the Oveja Negra channel, you know that whimsy is perhaps the best word to describe her. I love it. I love it. So there's two components to this. One is, I really like when you've got a commuter bike or a touring bike, and then you can utilize some bike packing bags, whether it be a frame bag or a partial frame bag like that half pack. I think it just adds a level of functionality to your bike. And in the case of the half pack, functionality, in room that you're really not utilizing for anything. So I dig it, and if you ever find yourself in the market for a bag like that, go to my website, go to Oveja Negra's website. That's ovejanegrabikepacking.com, and just check out the offerings in Wack Pack. I like it. I like the creativity of, kind of using some stuff from one world and making it work in another. And it may be one of the things that I enjoy most about bikes. There's no rules. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's no rules. None. Well, there may be a few. But not when it comes to the bags you use on your bike. So this will fall under sensible yet adventurous. And what you're going to find when I start talking about sensible yet adventurous is that sometimes there's going to be not a lot of adventure, and most of the time there's going to be no sensible. on the rare occasion, we may have one or the other, and I hesitate to guess whether we're ever going to find both. But I started thinking about travel because it is one of the things that I really love to do, and yet in the last decade or so haven't really had much of an opportunity. But I have traveled, and I'm assuming that a lot of you have as well. How many of you have been out of the country? And I guess when I'm talking about that, I'm kind of speaking to people who live in the U.S. Because I think if you live in other countries, especially in Europe, traveling out of the country is like me going to Ohio. So I left the U.S., I would say, probably pretty late in life. I was in my 30s, mid 30s, or maybe even older. I can't remember now. And the first time I ever left the country, I went to the Philippines, which is about as far away as you can go. I mean, Indiana is here, and the Philippines is here. And as a buddy of mine said when I told him that I was going to the Philippines, he said, well, that just ain't out of town a little bit. But I have this theory that wherever it is that you go, the first time you leave the country and you go to some place that is just 180 degrees out of phase from where you grew up, work, live, it imprints on you. And I went to the Philippines 5 times, and I can't wait to go back. And it certainly is, because it's a great country. The people are great. The food is great. The weather is, unless you're there in the rainy season, great. And I had this theory, and then I talked to another friend, the wife actually of the aforementioned friend, and she took a trip to Ghana. And I believe that that was her first trip out of the country. Now, I'm sure Ghana is wonderful. And I'm sure all the same things apply. But it is not, I don't even know that it shows up on the list of places that I would want to go. For no reason in particular. It's just when I think about places I want to go, it just doesn't appear. But she loved it. And I know when she first came back, we talked about it, and she goes, I can't wait to go back. Which just kind of reaffirmed this idea that I have, that wherever it is that you go, that spot just imprints on you. So, but I don't have it's not like I went out and did research. So this is my opportunity to research. Does my theory hold water? Do you have a similar story about places that you went that, had this effect on you? I'm interested to know, because I have a feeling there may be a grant involved somehow for me. No, but I am interested. I just remember, I can still remember vividly I remember all the trips, but the first one specifically, because, you fly from the U.S. and you go to Tokyo, which is like Mars. None of this, there's no English anywhere. Thankfully, there are security people stationed around that can see confused white people and guide them in the right direction. And then, you land in Manila, and you land, depending on what carrier you use, if it's a domestic carrier, you're generally going to land at like 11 o'clock at night. And, there's so much moisture in the air. It is so humid there that there's just no way to ever get rid of it. So it does have this kind of, faint smell of, just vegetation, and it wasn't off-putting at all. It was just different. And then, you take a taxi, and even though it's near midnight, the traffic is just insane through Metro Manila. And, we get to the hotel, and there's just hordes of people at McDonald's and Jollibee at midnight, 12:30 at night. I'll never forget it, ever. And, yeah, I'm getting homesick now. So tell me what you think. Have you had a similar experience? And we'll get together and talk about it. We'll rehash it later. I hope you're all doing well. I just heard on the radio this morning that they've disarmed Elmer Fudd. I'm old enough now that I don't know what to think about that. Apparently, cartoon characters don't have Second Amendment rights. Yeah, hope you're doing well. And I hope you're getting out and riding your bikes. And I hope you get a little whack pack in your life, because everybody needs it. Until next time, thanks for watching, by the way. I kind of get on a roll. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the comments. Share the video with anybody you think might like it. If you've got ideas, if there's something you want me to talk about, let me know. And until next time, be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can. I'll talk to you soon.